Hi. Hello. How are you? Amanda, Saint Artist. Let's talk about Saint Makeup. Let's talk about oily skin. I have oily skin. I get asked all the time, does a cream makeup work with oily skin? Absolutely. Even in the hot summer months, it works. Are there extra steps to take? Absolutely. So we're going to tackle those. So let's talk about oily skin. I do not use the Saint setting spray with my oily skin, especially in the summer, because it is very hydrating. And with my oily skin, I feel like it gets on that border of dewy, greasy. And I live on that edge all the time. So using a different setting spray for me is what works best. So I really, really like Urban Decay All Nighter. I also like Charlotte Tilbury. Both are really great options for oily skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep. I'm going to set my face with setting spray as a primer. So we're going to spray the face. All right, and then we're going to go into a setting powder. Now what I'm doing here is I'm combating that oily skin. So Saint has Vanilla Dust. It magnetizes into your compact. I'm going to use, this is a demi brush. This is the shape brush. Really great for powder. So I want you to think about where your skin is oily. Don't think about your face as a whole. When you're using Saint makeup, never look at your face as a whole ever again. You need to look at it in parts. Our skin isn't the same color all over. We have shadowing, we have lightness, darkness, discoloration, oily, dry, whatever. Stop looking at your face as a whole. It's not. It's not. It's three-dimensional. Each piece is its own. You got soft tissue, you've got pores, you've got whatever. Stop looking at it as a whole. It's not. So I'm going to take my setting powder and I'm going to think about where I get really oily. I get oily right here on my forehead, on my cheeks, and then a little bit around my mouth. So I don't get oily back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the fluffy end. Just take any fluffy brush. You could take the shape brush. You can take the blend brush. You could take the fluffy end of your blush and bronzer. Use a fluffy brush is the key, not a dense brush. And we're going to tap into it. We're going to flick off the excess, and I'm going to just tap this where I get oily. And what this is going to do is any oil that's absorbed out is going to be tackled with that powder and absorbed in, and it's no longer an issue for now. It's not gone forever. We're oily. We know that. This is not gone forever. I'm going to take this, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go around my nose onto my cheekbones. And I'm just absorbing the oil, and I'm just coming right down here. It's basically my T-zone. I'm just going to tap around. All right. I'm set. I'm prepped. I'm ready to rock and roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my makeup on as if I don't have an oily skin issue. Got an itch. Okay. I'm going to use mainly my shape brush and my detail brush. I cannot use another brush for contouring aside from my fingers. So that's what we're going to use today. First things first is I'm going to remember less is more, especially with oily skin, because this is a cream and we do border on that edge of dewy versus greasy. So less is more. So let's go into our main highlight. Mine right now is Mango. It's this color here. I'm going to go in on the fluffy end and I'm just going to tap into it. Never wipe through. And I'm just going to focus on the lower part of my face, tapping it on and bringing it up and onto my beard area. We're just going to swirl this around and we're going to put our makeup on as if we don't have any discoloration. We will tackle all coverage at the end. Right now we're just evening out our skin tones. So I just bring this up into the crease of my nose and I put it on as if I have normal skin. No issues, no oiliness. I'm going to bring this down under my chin and up. Let's add a little more. We're going to go to the other side and I always keep it below my cheekbone. I do bring it up a little bit because I have discoloration on my face. So I'm evening out the skin tone over that. Tapping this on, bringing it down to my chin and in. This is the only place I'm putting my main highlight because I'm not looking at my face as a whole. The days of turning your face one color and then restructuring it are over. And so we're just going to tap this in, put it on, put it over, do all the things. That's it for my main highlight. That's all that I need. Now I'm going to go down to the next color, which is my brightening. I always keep my main highlight and my brightening highlight side by side. Once you separate them in a palette, it's really hard sometimes to tell which one's lighter, which one's darker. It is about 2 shades difference, and sometimes that can look close. And so I'm going to go in, I'm going to tap onto my brush, and I'm going to go between my brows, and I'm just going to push in and out and up. And I'm adding a lightness to my face. I'm going to switch to the smaller end, tap in, I'm going to come down the bridge of my nose very lightly, and you could see just adding brightness widened my nose. This is why Contouring and brightening and structuring is so important. Grab a little more. I'm going to hit my Cupid's bow, and then I'm going to hit right here. I'm giving myself coverage. I'm not stacking my colors. I'm blending them together, and I'm giving myself an even skin tone that has dimension. It's all going to balance out, and it's all going to be one layer of glorious makeup. All right, I've covered pretty much everything. I'm done with my main and my brightening. My eyes I do last. Always do my eyes last. It's just one of those things I can't not do. I'm going to switch to my detail brush, and I'm going to go into, this is Astoria. This contour, it's a nice cool tone. It's our darkest cool toned contour. And I'm going to do my forehead. So I put that brightening in. I didn't put that darker color, right, that I put down here, up here. I don't need to. Once my brightening and my contour merge together, it's all glorious. I tap it on either side, and then I just circle, bring it down towards the brows a little bit just to add that shadowing. Push it across my forehead, staying close to my hairline, bringing it down again. I'm going to grab that lightness and I'm going to pull it up to do that merging I was talking about. And that's it. That's how easy it is. Everybody says I make it look easy. It's because it is. Turning your face one color and restructuring it, that's hard. Doing it with a liquid and then a heavy cream and then powders, making those work together, that's hard. This is easy. This is easy. I'm going to use my finger for my nose, and I'm just going to make a straight line down either side. And I like using my fingers because I do have a bumpy nose, so it does take a little extra fine tuning because I have a bump right here. I'm thinner here, and then I like to narrow the tip to match the top, just to have a nice symmetrical nose. See, there we go. I slimmed it down a little bit. I could slim it more if I wanted to, just by bringing that shadowing in a little bit. And then I always push this up towards my brows. Our shadow naturally goes there. I'm going to take that end of the detail brush, the squared end, and I'm just going to tap this. Now, because I have a bump, I tap. You can wipe if you have one of those beautiful straight noses. I'm always so jealous. And I'm just going to tap this down and around, down and around. Push it up. You can use your brush just to smooth out the middle. You can also use your finger just to undefine the line between a contour and a brightener. This will all work out in the end. I have contoured my nose. I'm just gonna tidy up right here by my brow. But I just like accentuating the shadows that are already there. Boom. All right, let's get our cheekbones. All right, we're gonna do the cheekbones. Less is more. I'm not putting a lot of product on. When I tap, it does pick up some product and it does blend it out. So it's very thin. It's not adding any texture. I'm going to push in. I always tap it onto the edge of the brush. And I'm going to come, and I like to hang mine back. Just like to hang it towards the back. I do like it pretty heavy because when I start blending it down, it's going to blend down. I'm going to blend it down and then pushing up. I like to give myself some lift, so I keep it at an angle. If you're wanting to widen, say you have a very long face, you can just keep it straight. It's whatever you want. I'm going to tap onto the flat end, and I'm going to go in front of my earlobe and pull down. And I'm just giving myself a little chisel in the back part of my jaw. And then by pulling this down, I'm also hiding that pesky second chin. That pesky second chin. If you don't have one, don't do this. You could just hang at the back and just chisel out the back corner. I'm going to hide it. That's me. All right, so hold your brush in the middle, hold it at an angle, and you're going to push into that cheekbone, and we're just going to blend this out a little bit. I want you to underblend this. Underblending, because once we add our blush, if we're going to add any bronzer, we don't want to blend this away. And this is just going to give my cheekbones some lift, give me some shadowing. Oh, sorry. A big bird just... Oh, my morning hair. This is an easy day. This is a cleaning day, so this is just a very easy makeup look. All right. Next thing I want to get into is I want to get into my blush. I've been really liking these two together. It's an ombre. I have discoloration, but I like a bold cheek. But sometimes my cheek discoloration can pull through and I use a pink. So I use Saint Tropez and Sangria together to help combat that redness pulling through. So I'm going to take my Saint Tropez, which is this really pretty color, and I'm going to smile, and I'm going to see where my apples are, and I'm going to add it right here. Really scary color. I know, it's super pale, very neutral. Why is this a blush? I'm gonna show you why. Next, I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna pick up this bright, scary sangria. These two together, boy, talk about opposites. But opposites attract. And so we're gonna put it up there. All right, popping this up here and up here. All right, I'm gonna get a rag. I'll wipe this off my fingers. I'm gonna take the fluffy end of that brush and I'm gonna tap into these and I'm gonna blend them together. I'm gonna start with that bright and then I'm gonna bring it down. And I'm gonna bring it in together, and using that Saint Tropez is what's gonna combat my scarring from old acne from pulling through. It's so, so pretty. Boom, boom, boom. Going into that sangria first, bringing it down. I always smile when I do this because as you mature, the apples of your cheeks, the volume goes away. So we're gonna pop this in. We're gonna bring this over the nose because it's cute. And there we go. We have it. Now we have it. I'm gonna take some bronzer because I like to add some. I'm using a light bronzer. This is very light. This is Tan Lines. So pretty. I'm gonna tap into it and I'm gonna add some bronziness up here. Just a touch. I'm already pretty tan from summer, from laying by the pool on vacation. So I'm just gonna add that to the top part just a bit. And then I like to warm up my cheek, just like that. All right, let's talk about those under eyes. I love a good bold cheek. Oh my gosh, so pretty. I'm gonna add a little bit of bronzer down here on my neck. My neck is always lighter than my face, so I'm just gonna bridge it together with a little bit of that Tan Lines bronzer, just like that. All right, I'm gonna use my finger again. I'm gonna pick up some of my brightening and I'm gonna go under the trough. Everyone has this trough. It's your orbital bone because we're a three-dimensional face. So we're gonna start under the trough and we're gonna bring it up to the middle, not middle, the corner. Again, oh, there we go. We're gonna push it under and up. Now we're gonna be adding some structure, some dimension, giving ourselves an eye lift right here. And so we're just gonna pop it. We don't need to smear it underneath because less is more. This is a soft tissue area. I am gonna use the blend brush. I like the short, fluffy end on this one for my under eyes. I always use this brush under my eyes. I've used other brushes. I never get the result I like and I always come back in and fix it. So short end of my blend brush, and I'm gonna tap this on to the eye lift and I'm gonna pull this up and I'm gonna give my eyes some lift. I am focusing my tapping on my orbital bone, not my soft tissue, because I don't want to mature my eyes more than they're doing on their own. I'm 41 and I don't want to mature my face anymore. I'm pushing onto my lid, taking whatever's on the brush and pushing and filling in the lid. And this is going to be my eyeshadow primer. I'm just doing the face today. But because we have oily skin, we want very little product. I get very oily here, so I don't like a lot of product. I'm going to flip to the fluffy end. I'm going to merge these two together, and I've brightened my under eye. I took it from this mess to this. And so I'm going to tap on to the orbital bone. You can start on this corner. You can start on the inner corner. It's whatever one you want. But focus your tapping on your orbital bone and move the product to the soft tissue. You can easily mature this. If you're in your 20s, if you're in your early 30s, and you're just starting to get that fine line puffiness, don't bang on it too much. Don't add too much product. Take that fluffy and pick up excess if you need to. But adding too much product is going to give you texture where you may not have any. It's going to accentuate fine lines, puffiness if you add too much. If you don't bring it down to that orbital bone, it's going to accentuate puffiness. It's going to make it look more puffy, more tired than it is. And that's just because maybe your brightener didn't come down low enough. That's just my opinion. And now my eyes are brightened. All right, so remember that setting powder we used at the beginning? We're gonna grab into it again. Going back into this brush right here, the shape brush, I'm gonna tap in, tap off the excess. I have my powder, and I'm gonna go where I'm oily. This is a really well-pressed, fine powder. It will last you a long time. Yes, it's a small tin. It will last you a long time. All right, it'll last you at least 6 months, promise. And that's using it before and after. Tapping over onto that oily area, and we're gonna do the same thing here. Now I'm gonna do it a little bit differently because now my makeup's on. I don't wanna add texture to my larger pores or my fine lines. I'm gonna start at the top of my cheekbone where everything's a little more taut. And I'm gonna tap in and I'm gonna bring it down and then I'm gonna bring it up. I get very oily right here, and that's where, oh, that scared me. That's where I get greasy, I guess. So again, top of the bone, top of the cheekbone, Bring it down. Bring it up. Hi, honey. Can you
Mommy?
Yes?
Can I have this much cereal?
No, I'll be right out, though.
Please.
We'll have apple. Go. I'll be right out, okay?
Mommy, I want more of that
I know.
cereal.
I know. Well, okay. Let me finish this and I'll be right out.
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
I'm going to make that.
Thank you. See, we know it's good. The hardest critics are the kids. All right, tapping that down, bringing it up. You want the least amount of powder, but you still want powder, so you're bringing it down, bringing it up, and I'm not accentuating, I'm not over texturizing. Whatever's left on the brush, I continue it down, just because I don't get really oily there. If down at the bottom around your mouth is where you get oily, start back here and bring your powder down. Basically, don't let the first place your powder hits be where your texture is. You want to bring it down. And that's it. Then we're going to take our setting spray. We're going to spray again. And that's how you live through it. Okay. Let's say it's noon and we're starting to see that oil come through again. There's two things. I always keep a setting powder in my purse. Always. Let's say you don't want to buy another setting powder. These are the Seint blotting papers. Very good. This is how oily I am. I'm letting my setting spray set. I have a few spots left. But you can get these and you can get this pretty little tin, or it does come with a flap and you could just keep it in the cardboard. I'm extra and I wanted it pretty. So you can grab a blotting paper. Look at how nice and big these are. I mean, that's a nice size piece of blotting paper. Typically when I've bought them, they're about half the size. If by the afternoon you feel like you're getting oily, you can press it without it picking up the product, okay? It does not take off your makeup. It will pick up grease. That's how greasy I am, all right? Just tap it, pull it, all right? It does not take off. I mean, this is black. You would see this light cream coming off if that's what it did. So again, tap it, pick it up. You can do this as like a final prep to your face, and you can do just like that. If you don't want to buy the blotting papers and say you're out and you notice you're a little greasy, go find a bathroom, go get a clean toilet liner and blot. It works. It's not going to work as good as one of these guys, but look at this. My makeup didn't come off. It took off the oiliness. I have a matte finish if that's what you like. If you like to have some shimmer, grab a powder shimmer. This will keep you with looking dewy but not shiny from grease, oil. Tap it in. This is Starlit. This is my favorite powder, setting powder, because it doesn't pack as much of a punch as the other ones. It's a low flex shimmer. It looks white. It has a pink iridescent sheen. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Tap in, and we're just going to hit that high point, and you can get that shine that you like without it being creamy and dewy like a cream when you have oily skin. And just tap up here on the high point of your cheek. Do the little end, add a little to the nose, little to the bridge. We can hit above the brows, but it doesn't end up with a big, giant, bold, almost glitter spot. I really like Starlit. It's a really good option for oily skin, but you still want to use a shimmer. There you go. All right, that's it. That's my face with oily skin. This will last me all day. I don't need to reset. I don't need to add new product. I just sometimes need to tackle my greasiness. If you feel like your makeup moves, it's makeup, not magic. It might. You can use your finger to reset anywhere you saw movement. You don't need to add more product. It'll just go back in place and reset like new again. Message me. Let's get you started. If you have oily skin, it's gonna be okay.